East Darling Harbour, located within the Sydney CBD, will come to house a 22-hectare Barangaroo development project, which has increasingly become one of the most controversial topics involving a wide spectrum of stakeholders. The development is said to reinvigorate Sydney's global image, providing an integration of commercial, residential, entertainment, arts and culture. However, the development planning process has faced tremendous challenges in strategising a scheme that takes on interests of all stakeholders. The Department of Planning, under the New South Wales Government, has had a tremendous influence in governing the planning process of this development through the enforced legislation. The original proposal of Hill Phallus architecture was chosen where the concept plan stage suggested other project refinements in response to all stakeholders in order to ensure a streamlined concept plan approach. Part 3A of the Environmental Planning and Assessment Act served as a fundamental influence. The redevelopment of the site is categorised under Part 3A and is listed as a state significant site in Schedule 3 of the Major Project SEP. An independent review undertaken by Australians for Sustainable Development body argues that the problems with Barangaroo mirror the problems the community has faced with Part 3A. Part 3A essentially assigns the Minister of Planning to be the sole consent authority for big projects, thus causing a disjunct between the community and decision making in the planning process. The City of Sydney Council has criticised the development as overdeveloped and being overly processed by the state government. Because of Part 3A, the Council was only given the opportunity to provide advice for the development through consultation. In response to this criticism, in May 2011, the New South Wales Planning Minister announced a review of Barangaroo development, ensuring development applications are dealt with transparently and openly, as opposed to the previous system of Part 3A. An independent review was undertaken for Barangaroo's compliance with the associated planning processes and involved public submissions to take part in such evaluation. The review concluded that the Minister's actions had the effect of undermining confidence in a variety of related laws and decisions and was therefore not considered as good public policy. In addition, the modifications to the concept plan have posed for both opportunities and challenges for the New South Wales Department of Planning and the effectiveness of the planning process and its inclusion of community participation. In particular, Modification 2, lodged in 2008, involved the Minister of Planning at the time referring the Director General's report to the Planning Assessment Commission. This was significant in adding expert assessment of the proposal and the strength of the assessment process. The consultation of this modification included a 30-day statutory public notice, effectively allowing for public involvement and positively contributing to the planning process of all stakeholders. The continuing evolution of the concept plan were publicly available throughout the planning process till Modification 3. As the commercial procurement process was occurring parallel to the planning approval process, which led to Modification 4 of the concept plan, the public, who were closely monitoring the statutory planning process, were surprised by the revelation of a scheme by Lend-Lease that did not have planning approval. In addition to this, the Minister of Planning did not refer the modification to the PAC as the changes were deemed not substantial enough to require an independent assessment, and the approval for this modification was granted in 3 days. As such, the consistency of the planning process can be said to be somewhat fragmented. Alternatively, it would have been a sensible approach and good public policy to refer Modification 4 for independent assessment to provide reassurance for the community about the proposal. This essentially redrew community concern about the impacts of Part 3A on the development. As of August 2013, Lend-Lease has lodged further modifications to the concept plan. To further improve the planning process, there must be a balance of all stakeholder concerns. The state government must implement a consistent approach for both local community and local council involvement. The City of Sydney Council holds a strong view on both positive and negative aspects of different components of the development, which essentially align with the community's perspective. This becomes important in understanding the relationship between community and council and the significant need for close council involvement in the planning process. The council's recommendations for Barangaroo include allowing council to control the development process, an alternate approach to project procurement, and emphasis on community involvement. Furthermore, Part 3A legislation and its implementation and impact on stakeholder contribution must be reviewed in order to ensure a more effective process. In conclusion, the case study has shed light on the importance of the state government and subsequent planning authorities to be in consistent and constant consultation with all stakeholders.